Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with Good Morning Portugal show, the podcast and the occasional Substack, and my special guest this morning, the Portuguesa, free range in central Portugal. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. Hola, bon dia. There he is.
What a beautiful picture that was of us both.
Well, my first question to you is, I know you have great fears, I think, or reservations about the impact of AI. And then when you look at how it has portrayed us, I'm not scared at all. I'm thinking that is so awful. It's made me look like an American actor. Well, it made us both look like American actors, isn't it? But I'm taking
I look like one of those kind of B movie stars, and you look like one of those, like Jimmy Kimmel or something.
Exactly.
I look like I'm on your. I think it's taken the piss because I've seen AI do much better than this. I actually think it's got to a point now where it's like, no, I've had enough of these people just abusing me. Can't be bothered. Yeah, really, because this is worse than normal, and this is. You tried it on Grok, didn't you? And I tried it on ChatGPT, which I pay for the top tier, by the way. And
you should get your money back. That's terrible.
I think it's taking the piss. It's taking the piss.
Right. So that's ChatGPT top level paid for. This is Grok free. Please render Munson and the Geeza as real estate.
I want to be the black guy. Come on. Isn't that on the left? Isn't that Joe Black?
I had no idea. I don't know what's going on.
But in both of ours, they kind of look vaguely like they don't look like us. They just look vaguely like real famous people, don't they?
They do a little bit. And I think AI has picked up on the fact that Munson and the Geeza does sound like a detective duo, for sure.
Yeah.
But my point being, I don't think we've got too much to fear from this technology if that's the best it can do. With a simple question, to be fair.
Yeah, make us look like estate agents. I don't know what your prompt was. That's what I did.
Well,
make us look like estate agents.
Yeah. That's a couple of questions. And should the ongoing, and because it's GMP AI Awareness Month, should we fear AI with its terrible results there? And what impact are you and I going to be making on the real estate industry? Oh, is that one of your biker pals over there?
Could be.
Okay.
Bon dia.
Nice wave. Bon dia. So let's have a bit of a catch up first, Tony. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Very well, thank you for asking. Yeah, tudo bem?
Yeah, I'm very good.
Mr. Biden?
Muito bem, obrigado. Muito bem. Este calor aqui agora. I'm very glad.
Sim. Nublado agora, but dia sol.
What is chemtrail in Portuguese?
Sounds like one of those words that's probably just going to be the same, isn't it? You know.
I think it might be. Right. So, anything to report before we get into the real estate conversation? How's it going?
No. Well, the real estate conversation. I mean, I know we've both been dabbling. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
So we've both been dabbling a bit, haven't we? We've both been dipping our feet in the water. What I've mainly been doing, I haven't been operating as an agent. So in a way, I've been operating as more of a buyer's agent, or sometimes, as I like to call it, an anti-agent. So to give you an example,
that is telling. Yes, go on.
I can think of two properties that I wanted to give you an example of. One was a few months ago. This was some people in South Africa who were looking at purchasing a home. I think they did go ahead and purchase it in the end, but they were worried that the estate agent wasn't being very honest about the state of the roof.
Oh.
So I went down there and I got the drone up and I got the 360 camera up inside the above the ceiling, so to have a look at the roof from underneath, and they were able to check that out in 360 and check it out with the drone, and we were able to get some money off the asking price accordingly. So I think I actually did the negotiations with them as well on the sale. Something else I can do.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And
forgive me, I've got my electric tennis racket. It's also fly season here, so I'm a bit distracted.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Okay, so anti-agent, you've been working against the industry whilst making your entry into it. I mean, it tells you something about how how you feel about it, I think, generally speaking.
Well, trying to keep them honest, and of course, in that sense, usually estate agents work for the vendor. In the way I do it, I'm working for the buyer, right?
Yeah.
So this is what being a buyer's agent is. Another example I had recently was a family who are in Canada, who I really want you to meet at some point. I think you should really interview these people. They're amazing. It's a family of 7, quite a relatively young couple who've got 5 children.
Wow.
And they've just suddenly decided, oh, we're going to move to Portugal, sort of sight unseen, as it were. And they called me and said, we've seen this property. We think it's lovely, but can you go and check it out and make a video? So I went up there, and actually the house was very beautiful, but this place is very close to me. And just last year, I made a video about the fires that had gone through there. Now, so I was able to point out to them, I said, now look at that view across the river. It's beautiful. Do you notice how the hills on the other side have got no trees? There's a reason for that. Look at my video from last October. Okay. Yeah. Now there's nothing there left to burn. The only things left to burn. And then I was able to show them the video of the house they were looking at and said, all the fuel's here now on this side. And you've got one, well, unfortunately, that's how you have to look at these eucalyptus and pine trees, as we well know. And you've got literally a 1 kilometre unsealed road to this property with no other access, to put it another way, no other escape. So what you've got to imagine is trying to pack five panicking children into a car and then go, you know what I mean? I just said, you can't do it, mate. I would not, I personally wouldn't do it. The house is lovely, the price is right.
Yep, therein lies the rub, right, Tony? Because let's face it, real estate is a capitalistic industry, and generally speaking, the aim of the game with this would be to get the best possible price for the house for the vendor, and sell it to anyone who comes along, and maybe not talk so much about those aspects of things, because you might lose the sale. This is what we're up against, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, the estate agent's doing their job, and I'm doing mine. So that's how it is, you know. On the other hand, I do present some properties, but you know what I'm like on my channel. I'm pretty warts and all. So just for example, if I can just walk up here.
Are we passing one of your properties, by chance? Oh,
well. I think I marketed this one, but that one's sold already.
Okay. What was that?
This one here.
That looks interesting. What is that?
This.
It's like a house of child. It's a face, isn't it? It's got a mouth and 2 eyes and a little nose with a label on it.
Yeah. This is a house that was, I think it was a butcher shop originally, many years ago. But yeah, it's an interesting enough place, and it's kind of been half renovated.
Okay.
This is one that I was asked to market, and I refused because the price was insane. So I just said, no, I'm not interested, because I thought it's embarrassing. They weren't very happy about that.
Did you give us the background? How much was the asking
price?
They
were asking 120,000,
right?
And I thought it was worth more like the neighbouring house was 40.
40, right? Okay. Oh, here's another one. Yeah. Is all of your town for sale?
This one I didn't market. I can't remember why, but I marketed their other home, which sold for 20,000. So anyone who tells you can't find property in central Portugal, and people are going to go, well, it's not going to be a palace, is it? Yeah, believe it or not, no, it's not going to be a palace at 20,000.
And you're not going to make much money either, are you? Even if you get the whopping 5%, you're not going to get a great deal of money.
Well, that's why it's some of these I just do for the channel. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to bother asking. I'm not going to bother asking my friend Manuela for half of her 5% of 40,000. But this one here is on for 40,000. And see, properties like this, as an estate agent, they're not very interesting, I suppose. But when I have people who are looking for sort of properties in the budget range for D7 visas, that kind of thing, then this is quite interesting because it does need renovation, but you could. It's another one of them. You could go in and just clean it. Do you know what I mean? And just, but it's like just something to get you through that process. Does that make sense?
Well, how much is it? Did you say
40,000? This one, 40,000 euros.
So the comparison there is if you got a high-end Lisbon apartment on a 12-month rental, that will cost you 24 grand, possibly, wouldn't it?
You got it. Yeah.
For 40 grand, you can buy a place and then get a foot on the property market, have an address in Portugal. It is a licensed and registered actual house.
Exactly.
You would have a
resident. You get it.
Yeah. Okay.
You get it.
Yeah.
So this becomes an interesting option, and probably for, again, the problem in these small villages, in a way, it would be easy to overcapitalize. So, I was sort of joking with Manuela. Yeah, you spend 50, you pay 40,000, spend 50,000 renovating it, and you've got a 60,000 euro house. You know what I mean? So you have to be a little bit careful. But my attitude would be, don't overthink it. You know what I mean? Don't overthink it. Just keep it laid out as it is. It's not ideal, but scrub it, paint it. You know what I mean? And make it look nice. And then when the time comes, rent it out. You know what I mean? Don't overthink it. It's not going to be an Airbnb. It's not going to be it could be a nice place to have guests come and visit, for example.
And your country retreat once you do find somewhere else you want to live.
Exactly. So what I say to people is don't overthink it. Think about the price. You know what I mean? It's only 40,000 euros. You know what I mean? We're not turning this into Trump Towers. It's it is what it is. It is what it is.
Right. So any other real estate realizations? And I think part of the reason why we haven't become fully fledged, tight trouser wearing, fast car driving, Filofax wielding, although that isn't the current stereotype for a real estate agent. The reason we haven't got fully into it is because we do feel a little bit uncomfortable with all the what are they, the contradictions and at the same time we would love to find people great houses, benefit from being consultants and help regenerate parts of the country that we really love. I mean, that would be one really good aspect of being in the real estate business, would it not?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, you do have to do that a bit. I mean, at the other end of the scale, I'm marketing a property that I think is 1.75 million. So it's kind of the other end, the other end of the scale. And obviously, it's a different approach,
Well, tell us about that one then. Don't be shy. 1.75. Now that's a decent commission.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's a really beautiful country home, and it's already a business. It's a retreat and spa. So if people wanted to, people have got a lot of options with that home. But I mean, that's a very special, unique property. I mean, I think it includes a restaurant, plenty of accommodation, swimming pool. It's a different.
Well, okay, and you would stand to make about 87.5 grand if you sold that at the full commission rate. That would be worth spending a lot of time on, almost turning into a full-time job. The big question, of course, with a place like that, 1.75, a spa centre, a street centre with its own loads of accommodation and its own restaurant potentially, is why are they moving if it's such a good business?
Well, for some people, it becomes sort of unmanageable when they become older and they'd like to sort of wind down a bit. Yeah. So I think that's something that's happening here. Yeah, if I could say it like that.
Well, I do. I see a lot of this because on the one hand, you have on the demand end, it's like I'd love an off-grid house in a lovely rural location, simple life. Trees, established trees, place to grow food, etc., etc. There's a lot of interest on the demand end. On the supply end, people have already been doing this for 10, 20, sometimes 30 years. Those really visionary people in central Portugal, and they're getting out of there. Why is that?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I just think there's lots of reasons. I think also some people who are, I think we can both relate to this, people who have got a sort of an entrepreneurial or creator type bent. We also sometimes, I almost wanted to say finish projects. We probably very rarely actually finish projects. I'm sure you'd agree with me, Carl. But we might get very close to finishing projects and start putting our eye to other things. So I think this is something that happens a lot as well, is people who are entrepreneurial or creative types tend to get things started and done, and then they're ready to move on.
Yeah.
So I think not all people, some people build things and then do that for the rest of their life, for sure. But I think a lot of people, it might be hard to understand in a way for people who don't have this problem. Dare I call it a problem? But yeah, quite often we build things and then we're already looking for the next thing, aren't we?
Okay, yeah. So it's been.
I have a friend right now, for example, Portugal Plan. She built a lovely Airbnb there. I have got a video about it. Quite often these videos don't get to my channel because of privacy and other reasons. It never makes sense to me, to be honest. With my marketing head on, get things out. But anyway, I did make a video about this one, and it is on my channel. She's got a kind of an Airbnb. It consists of 2 apartments and then I think 5 studio apartments in a lovely building. There's a swimming pool, there's a barbecue area, there's a kitchen dining room where you can entertain everyone in the house. So it doesn't have to kind of just be a free for all. They can have, it's kind of multifunction. She's done it really, really well. And again, the standard is absolutely amazing. You know, triple glazing, just, you know what I mean? The attention to the detail. No expense spared, and right at the end she's got, right, I've done it. So she hadn't even actually, she got everything, the license is there, everything's ready to go. And I think the price is really keen as well. Really do check that out if you're interested in a I actually that family I was saying, we're a family of 7. I put it to them that was probably a really good buy for them, but they don't want to buy just yet because he's in construction. Look at me, I'm going off on a tangent now. Anyway, it would have been soon.
Tell us what the price is for that.
I think it's on for something like, I don't want to get it wrong, but it's around the €300,000 mark.
Okay.
Which to me is a snip. Honestly, for this property, it's a snip. So please have a look on my YouTube channel, and you know, check that one out. Maybe the search term might be Portugal Plan. PEDRAGAO.
In our comments or in the YouTube video, we can put some links to all of these properties you've been talking about.
And that's coming with the license. And the good thing about that property, guys, is it's kind of separate living spaces. So if you're in a situation like it might be, you might have like older teenagers, or you might have guests who come to visit regularly, or you just want a business that's ready to go.
Yeah.
That property is, and I'm not just saying this, like, you know, I'm really not just saying it. I think it's a snip. If you've got that, if that's, I don't think you'll do better at that price, honestly speaking. And the location, it's also very close to the N2. So I automatically thought of a business. If you're into motorbikes, it'd be very easy to get something going as like the halfway house on the N2 for motorcyclists.
That makes sense.
So much opportunity there, really. And you're very rural, but you're near the highway. You know, it's fantastic.
We'll make sure people get connected with those if they want to be. And suffice to say, you're available in central Portugal, a particular area which people can get in touch with you about. Me, similarly, here on the Silver Coast, wanting to help people.
Yeah.
Really wanting to strike that bargain between the vendors not taking the proverbial and the buyers getting a decent deal in a market they're probably not at all familiar with, in which there are many Portuguese pitfalls. And finally then, Tony, interesting times in the world, for sure. Where you're sat, where you create your videos, it would appear you're untouched by the more chaotic and challenging elements of human life in 2025. Is that true? Is this a great place to be, to sit it out and eat your popcorn?
Yeah, I think it's really true, and especially I think I was just saying to you a couple of weeks ago in our other life as private citizens. Especially now that winter's over, and I hope to continue this. I still get quite a lot of messages from friends telling me what Mr. Trump's been up to, or how the EU is doing this, or how it. And I'm just out of it. I'm just so.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I'm just so like I don't even want to reply. I'm just not replying, and I'm just hoping people just get the hint. Just stop sending me these links, because I've lost interest in it. I'm interested in, going for a swim. I'm interested in walking my dogs. I'm interested in, helping people who are moving to Portugal, make that smooth transition. And, I think part of that has got to be kind of, it doesn't mean you have to cut yourself off from the world. That's not what I'm saying. You have to have some basic knowledge of what's going on in the world, I suppose. But even then, sometimes I think, is that even true? I mean, what really is impacting us, and why did we move here? We didn't come here to keep thinking about this stuff.
You've changed.
Yeah.
And in a really good way, if I may say so. That sounds fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah. It's a good feeling, man. I'm really happy to have
wonderful
kind of made that choice. Yeah, trying to do a little bit less. I know some people are going to say, Portuguese, you just made a political video.
Yeah.
But I think I did say in that video that I have a very specific reason for that particular one, which is I'm trying to show solidarity with my Portuguese brethren. And I'm also trying to promote the idea to Portuguese people. And I believe this is true, that that a lot of us also, we're not here to take advantage, or you know what I mean? We're not here to take advantage of the Portuguese. We're here to integrate. We're here to coexist, and we want to give, and we want to celebrate Portugal, and we want to celebrate Portuguese culture as I see it. Eventually I want to be Portuguese, that's my end goal.
Music to my ears. That is so much the Good Morning Portugal vibe. Portuguese, it is a pleasure and an honor to have you in our community, at least for a few minutes this morning, and all the best with that. Boa sorte.
Yeah, mate, and boa sorte to you as well. I'm very sure that anyone who's considering moving to the Silver Coast should really get in touch with Carl. Carl's, I've known Carl for a long time. I know him to be a man of integrity, and
you're all right, mate. Thank you very much. Igualmente. Take care, mate. Have a great day over there in central Portugal, where time is almost standing still. A bird just flew backwards, I think. Cheers, mate. Bye for now. Ciao.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun